Welcome, bow betters. Welcome to MMA Sip and Smoke. It's your boy Roberto giving you the picks of cigars, beers, as well as UFC MMA picks. You know it, you get it here. You get it all. You're part of the lifestyle. You're part of the team, guys. If you're in the chat right now, please join the chat. All right, yep, it's working. Got the theme music going from D-Rest. It was a great day today. Had to do a little business, got the haircut. As the title mentions, we are going to do a review today of Old Irving's Scentinel beer. I'm going to show you this can here in a friggin' moment. Fucking killer can. And this cigar that I've never even heard of before. Aganrosa. Let me look what Aganrosa means. Because I honestly, even though I speak Spanish, I don't know the word Aganrosa. It sounds familiar. And I denote cigars, right? Aganrosa leaf. Aganrosa. 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 What does that mean? Aganrosa. Aganrosa. I don't find it a Aganrosa. Aganrosa leaf. Aganrosa. I don't know if I could. Let me play this. If I could play this. No, it won't. It's not outputting. Oh, there it is.
Ask me. Aganrosa. What does it mean and how do you pronounce it? Terrence?
Well, first it's Aganrosa. We hear Aganrosa, we hear Aganrosa, we hear all sorts of things. To be honest with you, as long as you're validating our cigars, you can say whatever you want. But if you want to say it the right way, it's Aganrosa.
Aganrosa.
And it's an acronym. It stands for Agrícola Ganadera Norteña S.A., which S.A. means corporation, and then the rest basically
right, so it's an acronym.
Agriculture.
Always trust everyone to be themselves.
Oh, darn it. So it's an acronym. Aganrosa. All right, well, we learned that. I don't know a lot about this cigar. It was just handed to me here. Let's get the camera on me. I think I heard, let's see if there's anybody in the chat as well. 1 second here, guys. Drinking again. No one's in the chat still. Only one person. I think it's just me. So Aganrosa cigars. It looks like they're pretty serious about their cigar making here. There's Aganrosa people, but yeah. Let me get myself into the picture here, and you can see this cigar. Check this out. There's the Aganrosa. Aganrosa, rare leaf cigars. This one is not the Habano. It just says Aganrosa Reef, and it's rare leaf reserve. So my nose is still a little stuffed up. Oh yeah, here people. About better shirts in the house. Yeah, and look at the can on Old Irving Brewing Scentinel. Look at that dude. The hop fucking Sentinel. His shield has the Old Irving Brewery OIB on it. Blocking some arrows. He's on a boat. It's interesting. There's some kind of some Spanish theme thing there as well in the background, but really killer can, killer design. So we're having the Old Irving Brewing Scentinel beer with this. I think I've had this before. I don't know if I've done a review on it. I most certainly have had it before. If it's one of their continuing ongoing blends like the Della and a few of the other ones. We're gonna put it in the Old Irving Tulip. We got the Tulip out here, so we're gonna be fancy doing it in the Tulip. I should have wiped this down a little better, cleaned it out a little bit better, but we're gonna put it in the Tulip. and Aganrosa. Aganrosa. Hopefully I don't get stripped for playing that little bit of sound. I didn't play the video, so. But yeah, we were trying to figure out what it means, and that's what it is. It's just an acronym, I believe, probably for areas of where the cigar was made. Man, my stuffed nose is just makes it hard to really get a. It smells really nice. This is another one that's been breathing for a week or two now. I've opened it up. I put it in 2 cigar cedar strips. It's very mellow. I don't have a hint of spice in it right now. Just a really nice, soft earth smell. Yeah, my nose is a little off, guys. It's a little off, so you know. But yeah, here we go. We're gonna do the punch cut. And before that, let me pour my beer. Pour this beer out for you. And the Sentinel can. Get that can right. Pour my beer. Yeah, nice little pour. Doesn't look like it's very. It's gonna definitely be more hoppy. It doesn't have like that sort of fruit look to it. Like a lot of the, it just doesn't have that. It's very gold. It really doesn't have, that fruit sort of. You can tell that there isn't any fruit in this. This is pretty much straight hops. It's a very straightforward beer, right? So that's not bad. We're gonna have just a regular old beer with this. Let's see if there are any notes that are written on this. Yeah, I don't see. Oh, yeah, there it is. It's Citra. No, so it has some Citra in it. Mosaic, Sentinel, IPA. Yeah, so it's got those some Mosaic and Citra in it. Hops. So let's see. Let's give it a little taste. Cheers, people. Cheers. Wow, it does have that Citra. Very surprising, very light, and it still has. And I had some soap in it, man. Fucking cleaning the glass. Fucked it up. Fucked up this beer. Well, yeah, I could tell. Yeah, it's fucking cleaning agent, man. Fucked it up, guys. Fucked it up. I wonder if I should just pour it out and get another one now. Fuck it and drink it. Doesn't do very good for the taste, though. Hop with the little citrus. And yeah, probably the little soap there. Not so good. Oh, I could do this. Just drink what's little in the can here. Yeah, it's a straight hop with a little fruit, but not heavy fruit. Very hoppy finish. Not as smoky as sort of a Lagunitas. It's a little bit lighter of a hop. Would have been a good summer beer. This is probably their traditional IPA or standard IPA that you could drink. I think you could have this summertime, wintertime. It'll complement food well. It's soft enough that you could pair it pretty much with anything. It'll go good with the burger, good with pork, lamb, any kind of food as well. It'd go good with Chinese food, Mexican. It's just a very, I don't want to say average, but it's unobtrusive, unoffensive, and very straightforward beer that doesn't have a ton of complexity. But for an IPA, it's highly drinkable. It's very, very drinkable. It's like not a connoisseur sort of IPA, but a drinker's IPA. Like if you want that IPA, kick. It just has that. It's not a fancy sort of your craft beers that you have now with bubblegum flavor or with, has a lot of orange rind or lemon rind or cranberry or watermelon or all the various things that people are putting in the beers now. It isn't that. It's just very, I don't want to say run of the mill. I did say run of the mill, but I'm saying, meaning very drinkable and great entry level for anybody into beers. Whoa, whoa, whoa. I'm going to have to put this tulip down on the ground because the winds are so high here. The winds are still kicking up like they were from yesterday. And yeah, we're going to see how it goes with the Stogie. The Aganrosa. I don't recall the price. I know nothing of the blend. And I did go to the website, which I tell you, I rarely do. I tell folks I rarely go to the websites, but this time I went to the website because I didn't know, I could barely pronounce the word Aganrosa because it is an acronym, as he mentioned, right? Aganrosa. Aganrosa. Yeah, I guess that's the cigar company. Why not create a word for your company rather than choose something like traditional or... Yeah, it's a little departure. It's just a tough Aganrosa. It's somewhat of a tough say. Excuse me. Yeah, I'm telling you, I'm getting a little sniffles, and it isn't the cold. It's not like I have a cold. It's just a little congestion. I just think it's just from drinking a lot. Working a lot, drinking a lot, and being around fucking dirt and shit. And that's the fucking reality of it. That's the reality. Whoa, whoa, oh shit. Saved. Oh, god damn it. Lucky there wasn't that much beer in that can right there. Shit. I've gotten on my computer. That was a save right there. Whew. I'm gonna make sure there. Whoa, that was close. Yeah, there's nothing good. Yeah. Aganrosa. Yeah, it's windy today, guys. Windy, windy, windy. Put that on that side. See if that'll help. Yeah, very drinkable. Very drinkable, guys. Very drinkable beer. Highly, it's designed to chug. Like, you could pound this beer. Pound it. Scentinel. And I guess because it uses also some Scentinel hops or Scentinel is part of their blend. Love their packaging. Whoever did this art is killer. They had fun with it too. The citra on the head, the hop on the arm as a shield, as a shoulder sort of covering there. And then the shield is probably significant of something really nice. Great colorway. I love the colors. Perfect for fall. Old Irving Brewery. It's on Montrose. Is it on Montrose? Or is it on Lawrence? No, it's on Montrose. It's not even on Irving Park anymore, but you know what place is one of our favorite spots? Iris cider. She's got a really good pumpkin cider or pumpkin beer. I think it's pumpkin cider going on right now. My nephew had it. I'd like to actually give it a try, but whoa, okay. Yeah, that can went rolling really fast. And it's going to be very interesting. We're still going to have the cigar because it is MMA Sip and Smoke. I started the stream. I can't just even though nobody's in the chat, I'm going to want to smoke the cigar. What else am I going to do with myself this evening? I could do the dishes. I could just massage myself. I can do some pre-meal, some cooking for the week. I could do some of that stuff, but you guys don't come here for that. Not a lot of people even watch my lives. Let me see how many videos the last live got. Give me a moment here, just for shits and giggles. I'm gonna check it out here. What did my last live get? Yesterday. Oh wow, 40 views. I'm surprised, man. That's awesome. I think that's great. I appreciate that, people. I really, really do appreciate it. You know, like I really appreciate that. 40. It's that for me on these lives. Actually, wow. There was one. I got 200. Wow, I can't believe that. There was one on another cigar review for the underrated. What? That's interesting. I got 236 views for one of these. Wow, that's a lot. And then I had 31 for another one. So, no, I appreciate it, people. I don't know how I got so many on that, the cigar review, and maybe I should have put cigar review in the title of this live here. And in fact, I think I can. While nobody's in the chat, welcome, Bout Betters. If you made it this far, you are a Bout Better. Please comment, like, and subscribe. Let me see if I could do this. Please comment, like, and subscribe. I think I can, yeah. Yeah, it's gonna let me do it. Cigar or beer and cigar review. Cigar, no, it says to do cigar and because that's what we're doing, cigar and beer reviews. That's MMA Sip and Smoke. You know, I'm the only, you know, the first, the only, the best in the giving the cigar reviews. Yeah, other people, they'll be drinking stuff, they'll be smoking stuff, but nobody does it talking MMA. Nobody gives you the actual reviews in terms of they just smoke the cigars and might say two things about it and that's it. You're gonna get my honest opinion of the fight card. You're gonna get my honest opinion on or recommendations on probable bets, and my honest opinion on the cigar. So yeah, like I closed that up. That seemed to work okay. Let me lay back. Let me relax, guys. This is my day off. My only day off. I got to work. I got the mandatory OT tomorrow. I got to come in and work, which fucking blows. Because I have my niece that I've met once before in her life, in my life, and is in town. And unfortunately, won't be able to spend any time with her at all, and you know, go out and enjoy the city tomorrow. Hopefully, it's a great day for my family. They're gonna actually go out and be able to chill. So it's going to be very interesting. I'm happy for my brother that he's able to see his daughter again and trying to mend or have a relationship despite being separated for so long. It's pretty important. Yeah, we got to get the shirt in there. You know what I mean? The watch check, same watch as yesterday, guys. This thing's going to get a lot of wrist time just because it's so neutral, almost like the Scentinel beer. It's like it's a daily beater, daily wear, work wear. You can, you know, wear it with nice clothes. It's just very functional. One thing I noticed today that I liked about it is that in the evening, right now, in this lighting, as I mentioned yesterday, it has more of that. The dial is a little more charcoal than black. But then when you're out in the sun and you're walking around and outdoors, it's a very black dial, which I like, because that's initially what I wanted. But indoors, it seems to be a little more charcoal. And I like that variation. I like that it does that in certain lighting, it's going to look a little different. I dig that. Also, the lume on this thing is crazy good, as I mentioned before. Nice bracelet. Again, I probably should not have kept it. It isn't like for the price, it isn't like my first choice. But for a daily beater watch that I could, you know, can wear with a lot of different outfits, and it's very neutral, it's good. And then I also just, even though I don't normally like heavy watches, I really like the weight on this. Like, it has that, dare I say, Rolex like feel, but it has a feel to it of a more expensive automatic watch, right? Like, and I love, of course, the exhibition case back on it, right? I've shown this a couple times. We're gonna, hey, we're gonna mention what we're wearing as a watch. It's another, we've seen it before, but I'm showing it to you again because that's what's good about the watch is that it's versatile. You could use it, like I mentioned, with with a dress suit, very similar to like a Rolex. Like certain Rolexes, like the Submariner, even though it's a dive watch, because it's such a luxury, well-made piece. Like the stainless steel on it, it's really good. The ceramic bezel has a beautiful enamel on it that you could use it as even dressing up. You could use it as a dress watch, or not really a dress watch per se, but use it in a more formal context because it is a Rolex and it just has that luxurious look to it. This may not have that same look to it, but I like how it has this more of understated luxury to it, where it's not quite luxurious, but it's more, I like it actually that it's more, I got it for work. So I like that it's more upscale blue collar, if dare I say something like that. Like it just has more of that workers, even though it is an aviator design, or somewhat of an aviator's design. I guess it's an aviator design. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I got it for work, and I decided not to use it for work anymore. So that's that. You guys are sick of hearing the watches. I could actually put on another watch if you guys want to. I got plenty of watches. Now, it's another reason why I wasn't supposed to buy this fucking watch. I was supposed to be saving up to buy a nice Rolex or an Omega. I'm torn. I mean, that's a good. Actually, that's not a good. It is a good question because I still love antique and antiquities and older watches. Period. Whether it's an old Omega or an old Rolex, I like those. But my dilemma is buy an old Rolex or buy like a newer Omega, like in the same price range, right? Like if I'm spending $6,000 or in that range, or a little just over $5,000 to $6,000, you buy an antique Rolex, even antique Omega, or do you buy like a new Omega, right? Like that's gonna be my dilemma once I get that income, which I may never get. Who knows? And if I don't, that's okay. That's okay. I don't like I said, unless I throw this watch out there and show it to, like I showed it one of my coworkers because he has he wears his PRX, his PRX at work, which I'm shocked, and he's like, it's like $700. I'm like, yeah, dude, that's a $700 watch that you're wearing for our shit job, and he manages it. It looks clean. I mean, there's not a lot of scratches on it. And I'm like the only person that probably has ever mentioned his watch to him. Or I wonder, I'm going to ask him tomorrow if he's there. I'm going to ask him, hey, has anybody ever said, hey, that's a nice watch? Because right out the gate, right out the gate, I'm like, dude, that's the PRX. Is that a real one? That's what I asked him if it was fake or not. He's like, yeah, this is real. So he knows his watches. Like he knows the various models on the PRX and the various, that there's a quartz and automatic version. And did he have the quartz, the lower end quartz, but it's nice blue dial? I have to ask him which one he has. I have to look at it. I don't like doing that sometimes with guys, but I should, since he obviously likes watches. We should look at it. And he liked this one. He thought it was fire. He thought it had some heat to it. And he compared it to a Rolex. He said it had that Rolex sort of look to it. And I don't think so to my assessment, but it certainly has that weight. And like I said, I don't normally like that weight, but in this particular watch, considering that it's like a workman's sort of watch, workman's military style, more military than aviator, more military style, field watch, field watch. Yeah. Yeah, I could have even saved and I've been wanting the Hamilton khaki for a while too, which I don't have. Most people have that as like the base of their collection, So spending $226 on this was probably a little much. the Hamilton khaki. I could have made. Actually, I couldn't. I shouldn't. I can't even justify either one. I still have some credit card debt and some bills I got to fucking pay and taxes and fucking all this other crap that. And we're digressing. Wait, I haven't even started to smoke. I'm talking all this fucking shit, and I haven't smoked. I got the Punch, Colibri Punch dual blade, and remember with the dual blade, we're gonna spin, right? We just spin almost the cap off, and I almost don't squeeze this very much. Like I don't really do the final or the big cut, right? I just do a spin, 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 and a lot of times that cap comes off, right? See, here we go. Here we go. Can you guys see that? Spin, spin, spin like this, right? Boom, you're spinning, and the cap just comes off by itself. You don't even have to cut it. I did that cut, but I didn't have to. That edge leaf, don't mess with it. There's the cut. Wow. A lot of from reading their or looking at their website, most of their blends tend to be, there is a little spice. Very little spice, very little pepper to it. But it was a lot more wood, a lot more cedar to begin with. But not a lot of other earth tones. It's got a little spice to it. It's not strong, but it's ever present. It's got a little more spice to it than the cigar we had yesterday, right? I don't get that. I get farm, but not like greenery of the farm. It's more barn, right? Like roasting room, the fermentation room. Like I get a lot of that when I taste a cigar. Rather than the field, I sense and I feel the barn, right? Like that's where the cigar took more of its influence, not necessarily from the dirt, but through the craftsmanship and the curing process. And that can happen. Like, it can be like that. Yeah, a lot of pepper, a lot of spice. Spicy little cigar. So this could be on the stronger side. I didn't necessarily want a spicy cigar today. And I forget what price point this thing was. It still had to be over $10. But it was recommended to me by my guy at Norwood Royal Cigars. Man, the aromas are really, really good on this thing. Like I said, guys, I actually don't smoke any bad cigars. There's nothing that even the beers, all fabulous, guys. Ooh, I'm a little close to the charring this thing. I get my little circle on there. Yeah, the spice is heavy on this sucker. Man, you get your nice toasting ring, and this thing lights itself. Like with this torch, these things, like, man, I love these things. I used to hate them. I used to prefer my Dunhill lighter or even my ST DuPont, like just a regular flame instead of this torch. And now I'm all about these torches, man. This thing, it's lit. It's ready to go. Without even touching it, man. It's already lit. I don't even have to do anything else to it. I already know it's lit. Oh, there it is. There's still a lot of farm with a nice but the spicy finish, it's really subtle and it's nice. It's what you need. Oh, there's another flavor. There you go. There's the jungle that I wanted. Man, wow. This is an interesting one. There we go. There we go. Now we taste that jungle. It's nice because it's like jungle to spice, then back, mixed with the, spice and farm, and then back to jungle. It has this like, it has a complexity. Like the cigar yesterday didn't have that complexity, right? This has got a flavor set that is layered, and layered more than just the beginning, middle, end. It has a mezcla. It's got a mix of things going on. And the cigar yesterday had more of a nutty flavor. This doesn't. This is more, it has that green quality, but more robust, right? So it's not like a soft green, soft farm. It's jungle. Has a lot more spice to it, like hint of pepper, but more spice, and then strong farm, like more in terms of barn, like cedar aging, but it doesn't taste woody. It just has that almost, I don't want to say smoke or like mesquite, but has that like, yeah, I guess it is more of a like not applewood, or the cigar maker might hate me for saying that. That has that like that burnt wood, smoky characteristic, but I like burnt wood. I like fucking smelling applewood or mesquite, or some of the other blends of the woods, firewood, ironwood. I love that it has like multi-layered. Like it has like 4 flavor sets. It has that in the mouth sort of barn smokiness, and then as you exhale, you're getting a little bit more of that spice with a little bit of that green, like, and then it starts over again. Once you've done exhaling, you still get those 2 flavors again. So it's rather nice. Definitely not for the novice. It's not necessarily on the stronger side, but I don't think a novice is going to appreciate the palette that's presented here. Love the finish. The green to spice. Yeah, I really like how this thing is smoking. It's different. And different in a positive way. Different in that it starts with two flavors, and then it brings those 2 flavors back at the finish, right? It doesn't completely just stay 1, 2, 3, right? It brings it back. It's really, really good. It has an excellent balance between that spiciness and that barn sort of wood quality to it. Yeah, I'm liking this cutter now too. Like, look, it just takes the cap right on off with a little shaving more. And you don't have to cut it at all. That's the trick. I didn't even have to cut it. I didn't have to slice it. You could just spin, and that's all that does it with these type of cutters, which aren't bad. And this Colibri, it really hurt somebody, but you don't need to. There's no need for that. You just spin, close it a little bit, spin, and that cap's gonna come off. So when you want that full cut, which I'm I probably should have did the V cut, the full cut yesterday on the cigar yesterday. That was a little milder, and I should have did the V cut on this one, but I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know what I literally brought it out here to smoke. Lots of more spice to it. Before I brought it out here to smoke, before I even, cheers, salud. Oh, here's Old Irving. Good food there at Old Irving, by the way, too. If you come to Chicago, Old Irving is worth the trip to the far north side, worth the beer, worth the bar experience. You know, ask politely for a little tour of the brewery. They'll be probably happy to show you everything. It's right in the restaurant. It's right there. Can't believe they produce as much beer as they produce and sell here in the Chicagoland area out of that little spot. There's some pretty big tanks, though. I think it's like, is it 4 tanks they got there? But yeah. Still no one in the chat. Maybe I get to lower my volume a little bit. See if here in the Chicagoland area. Oh, we're good. We're good. Yeah, well, I'm gonna wait to talk about fights, and we talked a little bit about him yesterday for this card, UFC Edmonton, right? And then I also I got drunk, of course. We always get drunk during these MMA sip and smoke. That's sort of part of the process. You sip and you're smoking. If I were smoking weed, it'd be high. It'd be sip and smoke and we'd be like high and drunk at the end of it, right? That's all right. Yeah, someone said this would have made a nice cigar band. And it wasn't like a cigar band design per se. I think this one was actually taken from a template for a barber, believe it or not. But it has a perfect sort of cigar band look. So maybe someday I'll have the About Better cigar. How about that, people? Or About Better beer. Both. You know, I could ask my boy to make a label for me, About Better, and we could have About Better beer and About Better cigar. I think we can make those. I think I can make that happen. I could ask my buddy maybe over there at Illuminated to make me a batch of About Better beer. I don't know what he would charge me for something like that. I'm certain it would be very expensive because it would be taking him out of production. He'd probably recommend that I go to like one of those schools and learn, which I think I would do too. I think that's a better route of going, is go learning how to make a beer, make my own beer, and make the About Better beer. And it could be other things, but I'll make it the About Better beer because, no, I wouldn't. I have another idea for a beer as well as a brand, and I might do it. Yeah, the little trimming. Okay, so maybe there's a negative there on doing the spin, is that it had these little threads. Oh, wow. I can tell already that jungle's coming out of this cigar. It has more of that Habano richness to it. It's gonna start to come out. I could just tell. I think that barn quality, that wood is gonna dissipate, which I already feel that it is. It's just gonna have that full earth and near that plantain that I enjoy, but it's gonna have that quality to it. It has like that, similar to the Andres broadleaf, that jungle characteristic. I like that jungle characteristic, but this one's a little toastier. Very nice. The wood is still there. The finish isn't as spicy right now, and then we're still on just the first third, right? So the spice is dissipated. It's mellowed already. Wow. Like this is more of a connoisseur cigar. This thing would be great with like a chocolate mousse. Like I feel dessert. Like this is a dessert cigar. Like give me a nice, not what is it? What are those things? The Italian cake called? Give me a nice pastry. Give me a nice little cake, a little chocolate mousse, a little, something light like that. That's what the cigar will complement well. Tiramisu. Get little tiramisu with this thing. Ooh, perfect. The little added shot of brandy or yeah, this is like it. This isn't meant to be paired, or it isn't a beer. Shouldn't be a beer pairing with this cigar. This wants a spirit. This cigar wants a cognac. It wants a brandy. It wants a bourbon. Not really a scotch. It want a bourbon. I think might go well, but it's heavier. It isn't necessarily ideal for a beer pairing, but it yearns and it wants more, like something sweet could offset it and actually give great contrast to it, like tiramisu or even a flan. Like right now I'm thinking a flan or a tiramisu with a little something, a little snifter of a nice cognac or brandy, even port, like a port wine. This thing would go really well with. Yeah, I see that there's like port is sort of out of fashion. You rarely see it anywhere. And when I was younger, I used to prefer a lot of my cigars with a port, that heavy, or sherry even, like that heavier cherried, more sweet alcohol. Just for me at that time went well with cigars. A lot of people want to do wine, and even wine with cigars goes really well. And I think this one, yeah, with a nice heavy with heavy. Not like a Chardonnay, not a Pinot Grigio. This thing wants fucking, it'd be nice with like a Zinfandel. It could still go with a big cab. Go big with big, right? Deep, rich character with deep, rich character, right? It could go that route, but yeah, it's a beefy smoke. Yeah, I love the finish now that it doesn't have that spice and has more of that jungle quality to it. And it's not super green. It's like green is like the cigar we had last time. They're not super green. And again, it's more barn. Yeah, I'm in a flight path here, guys. If you haven't noticed, I'm over here by O'Hare. And we're right underneath United's flight path, so I see all the fucking planes and I clean the shitters on. See them all fucking all night, fucking all day, every day of my fucking life. Every day of my fucking life I gotta see these fucking planes. I still like seeing them. I love seeing them take off more than anything. That's always the best part of flying anyways, the takeoff and the landing. Once you're in the air, it's sort of boring. You're like not doing anything. Same with the ship, huh? You're happy leaving, and then you're happy arriving at your location or coming back home. Same with the plane. Happy landing, happy taking off, happy landing. Man, look at that burn. The wrapping on this one is excellent. They have great craftsmanship on this cigar. Do 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 do. Look at that. You could see what I was drinking. I knew I'd give it away. I always chase my beers with something. Something. I just don't want to promote that shit. Actually helps the cigar in a little way. Sort of cleans the palate a little bit. Coffee would be really good with the cigar too. Or a nice a nice cappuccino. This is a nice cappuccino cigar right here. Like it wants that coffee sort of flavor. It yearns to be paired with something other than beer. The margarita stuff that I'm drinking, yeah, it's okay, but it's not the same. It wants something else. So I don't have the best pairing here, but that's not to say that the old Irving Scentinel is like a bad beer, and I just didn't pair it well. Right? It's still a good beer. It's just not the right beer for this particular cigar. And I don't think any of the fruity ones would be. I don't think it's a beer type cigar. And in fact, if I went beer route, I would go with light. I'd go with just a straight Modelo, Especial, a Peroni, like the Italian Peroni is a nice, Pilsner, a nice light Pilsner to go with this, if anything. And not something that has the hops or the citrus good, but like the hops is it's just not a good blend. It's not pairing well with that. I'm yearning for something else, like an espresso. I'm not espresso, but a cappuccino, like a tiramisu or a spirit. And I don't have a collection of spirits because I don't drink a lot of spirits. Or I mentioned a port wine would go really well with this. It's tough to get the aromatics because my slight congestion. It's like I'm breathing only through one nose. Right now it's very soft, which is very interesting because it had that full beefy characteristic on the first third, and now it's sort of mellowing out, and it came back to that more that wood barn quality. Like they aged this really well. Smoke break. Hello, brother. What's going on, my man? Hey, 808. Have you had smoke break? Have you had these Aganrosa cigars at all? I think this might be up your alley. I think this one, it has that little, like, I like the jungle sort of characteristics to it. But I don't know if you've ever had any of these, but this is my first time having the Aganrosa cigar, and it's a little complex. As I'm mentioning, I just don't have the right beer for it right now, and I have a little bit of congestion, so the nose isn't hitting me properly. I'm not going to take that band off for a moment here. But thanks for coming in, Smoke Break. I haven't seen anything that you've done recently. Always look forward to your material. Thank you for coming in and saying hello and aloha. Really appreciate it. But yeah, I got a little nasal stuff going on, so it's hard for me to get a scent of this cigar. But I love its complexity. Like, I like cigars that have that stumble me for somewhat. That I'm not saying, oh, it's great, and then initially hit all the notes on it. Yeah, it is putting out lots of smoke. Yeah, it is. It is putting out lots of smoke. That's why I think it's more up your alley as well. I like that heavy body. I like that getting a good draw and with that full bodied. yeah, it's so smooth right now. This cigar, right now, remember the quad complexity I was mentioning before? Initially, that's gone. Oh, there is a little bit. Now it's farm, or not, I keep saying farm, but I should mean barn. It has that barn wood aging to a little jungle, right? Which is a nice flavor set, right? And I was mentioning, I just think for myself, I didn't pair it with the right beer, and I didn't do it justice. I think this is like a good dessert cigar. Like I could have this cigar, and I need to do that sometime. Have a piece of tiramisu here, even though I don't like drinking and talking, but have a nice piece of cake or a nice pastel, you know, like or you know, which is pastry. Any pastry with this would be fantastic with a spirit. This deserved a spirit, a brandy, a cognac, or port wine, as I mentioned, and it deserved something sweet, like a nice, like I'm keep saying tiramisu because that has both characteristics to me. It has that coffee with that, or like a cappuccino. Like I said, this would be a nice cappuccino cigar. And I would smoke cigars like this in the morning. Oh, there it is. I love that jungle finish where it has that green, deep, rich earth. Like you could almost taste the humidity and mist of the jungle in it, in the finish. I love that shit. Love it. If it had the more of that sweet characteristic with it, it'd be even better. But that it has that just in itself, like I know this was like, came from good earth. It came from a good, and because it has that strong barn quality, like this is a kind of, like this was made with a lot of care and attention. Like they were, you know, like the earth was well maintained. It's Esteli in Nicaragua. It comes from a very premium area, farming area, in a very well maintained and manicured area. And then the barn itself, they're paying attention to what is happening even during the fermentation process, because it shines through. Like I could just tell, like it has a barn quality to it. I love that finish, man. You know, I'm a person like, I'll smoke a cigar in fucking 100 degree humidified fucking jungle. That's my that's why I like Aloha Smokes, man. He smokes out in the tropics. And I'm glad you took my advice to like show more of the floral of the land there in Hawaii. Shit, I'd go up in the mountain area. I think you went to a little mountainous area where you could oversee the city, man. That was beautiful, man. Like that's where I would want to have a smoke. I'd want to like take a hike into the jungle, and I don't have to have a view. I could just be by a waterfall, or even just sit down and just listen to the sounds of the jungle, the fucking animals and the birds and shit, and just smoke there, sitting on a fucking log, you know, smelling everything in that environment. And even if I'm sweating and hot from the heat, I could still love to, you know, smoke the cigar and just be appreciative of life and, you know, what I have, and just that I'm part of it as well. You know, I mean, that's something that I would love to do. And when I smoke this cigar, I get that feeling, and I like that as much as the flavors, like where it takes me to. And I love the jungle. I love the sea more, right? Like this isn't a seaside cigar. This is, I love the jungle. I love jungle too. You know, I've lived in the mountains. I've traveled and hiked in jungles. And as I was mentioning before with some friends, like certain cigars, I like that they have that Predator. Remember that movie Predator when you know, they're smoking cigars? Like They all, like Schwarzenegger smoked cigars. Carl Weathers' character smoked cigars, and they're smoking cigars as they're military guys as they're combing through the jungle. I would love that shit. Throwing the guns too, shit. Bring it on. But I love that, man. Being in the jungle, smoking a cigar. Although you're giving out your position, of course, but like a camping cigar. You go camping, you gotta bring some cigars, guys. You go camping, you gotta bring some cigars. Sitting at the end of the night, like even at the beach, with the campfire or beach fire, you gotta bring a cigar, man. A lot of people bring blunts and weed and all that. You gotta bring a cigar. You gotta bring a cigar at the beach or in the jungle, in a campfire. And that's what this is, also a very good campfire cigar, right? Because it's not the smell of the fire is not going to overpower this puppy, right? You're still going to get great flavor. See how I waited almost to that, like, you guys, I hope you guys saw that. Before I started peeling it, I had to get close because I had to heat up these big bands nowadays. But yeah, like, you got to bring a cigar. Camping cigar, beach cigar, food cigar. I'm going to give this a little higher rating. It just doesn't have a little bit that hint of sweetness to it that I really like a little banana, a little plantain, a little plátano. Little plátanos. I had a couple plátanos the other day. And plátanos for us Latinos is a little ripe banana. And you could do it, and there's plenty of ways to do it. A lot of people, the plantains, a lot of times we fry it when it's unripe, but then when it's ripe, you just take it off, and you could actually not steam it, because you steam it, and it has such a good sweet character to it. And I had a couple of them the other day with my rice. It was in my rice. I didn't even expect it. My brother got some rice, and it just happened to be in there. And that wasn't normal. Normally in arroz con gandules, like the Puerto Rican rice, we don't throw the plantain in there, but this time it had a couple chunks of plantain in there. It was actually a great idea. Whoever's idea was that, it was actually really good. It wasn't too soggy. The plantain was actually still held its consistency. It was a little mushy, but it was still sweet, and it was very nice. You had that with a little lechon, which is a little pork, a smoked pork. That's what I had it with. Sure, it gave me a little heartburn, but man, it was just a very nice combination. Like the lechon with the plátano, or the ripe plátano, either one is going to be a good combination. And that would be a good meal with this cigar. Like after you have that meal, you have this cigar, everything. That's what's lacking. Is I had some Mediterranean food earlier. There's a little more time. This thing is meant to be complemented and paired with something. And I'm not. I'm pairing with the beer, and that just isn't appropriate. The beer, even though it's a good beer. I can't show you the can again, but it's a good beer. You still catch me when I'm drinking. Pre-made cheap margarita drink. Yeah, now it's a lot softer. A lot softer. Still heavy. Still beefy. Not for the novice. Not for the novice. But it's been a while, and I missed out on that, and I need to get, Privada Cigar Company had a meal. Like, I miss doing those smokers. Back in the 90s, we had smokers where we're literally like smoking cigars and eating at the same time. Just like they did in the 30s, just like the Capone era here in Chicago. Like you have your steak or whatever, and you're eating you're pairing, you have a cigar for each part of the meal. You have your appetizer cigar, right, which it was usually like that Connecticut, like a lighter cigar with the white wine, with the little caviar or a little little oysters, some oysters or little shrimp or, even your fucking guacamole, I remember my boss one time, he was like, we had a smoker with these ladies, I forgot what they were called in San Francisco, and we had we got, what was the name of the caviar that we got? I forgot the company that came out. It was one of the main brands of cigar companies, of caviar companies came, and they literally made like a mountain of caviar. Like even though my boss said it, he's like, man, these ladies are eating that caviar like it's like it's guacamole. And I'm like, well, they built it like guacamole. They made like this little mountain of caviar, and the ladies would come by with their crackers and just, and the mountain would disappear. And he had to keep on opening up. I think there were a lot of ladies there that night. I want to say that there were like, I should have grabbed the wife that day. I want to say that there were like 70 to 100 women there, and they went through a box of caviar, like maybe over 100 tins. Those tins are these round 4-inch tins. And they're the bigger tins, not the small ones. They were the bigger ones. They're like smaller than this ashtray, right? The tins are smaller than the ashtray, but half the size of this, right? And they must have went through like, I want to say 70. They might have had, which means they would have one apiece. Well, that's ourselves included. The workers were included, and there were a couple other guests, like media people. But it was a women's only event, so there weren't like all these other gentlemen there or other stuff. There were a couple, but they were mainly in media and or politics. And I think Willie Brown actually showed up to that one. Willie Brown showed up to say hello and campaign. Willie Brown was ex-mayor of San Francisco, and he showed up. I think, yeah, he did. He did show up to campaign, gave a little speech, and then took off. But he definitely courted these ladies for their votes in the campaign for him. And those ladies we went through so much. And I was eating that caviar. I wasn't even a big fan of caviar until that night. Like, because the first time I tasted caviar, it was like, ooh, little too fishy for me. Little too salty. And this stuff, you didn't even taste it. You didn't even taste it. In fact, our boss was like, man, you guys slow down on the caviar because we're paying part of the price. Like we paid the caviar company. It wasn't just a promotion. We paid them cost, right? That's why they brought as much as they could, because we were sharing in the expense. We were still not paying retail. We were paying cost for the caviar. So they were happy to like, okay, you want to keep on opening up fucking caviar? We'll open up caviar at night. And we did. Like for 2.5 hours, there was like so much caviar eaten, and there was cheeses and fruits. And it was fun for me because I got to light ladies cigars and teach them about cigars. And, of course I have their attention and for a little moment. And so it was fun event, fun evening. And yeah. So going back to what I'm saying about this, doing the weave, the Donald Trump weave, like this cigar would be great at an event like that, or event like one of the cigar smokers we have. So the beginning cigar with appetizer, then we have a middle cigar, nice cigar, and then a final cigar with, or choices of cigars depending on what the menu was. And you could, I had options. Sometimes you choose, hey, if you wanted, you have two options for your final cigar. You had options. Like you could have this deep, rich, like say Opus X, like would be the finale, right? Like Opus X to finish it off with a drink, with the dessert, like that. That's where this is. Love the subtle richness of this cigar. Lots of barn. Yeah, like now it's like two-tone, which is fine. But yeah, always trying new stuff. It isn't going to be on my daily rotation. It's not something I'm going to buy a box of. But now that I'm introduced to the brand, I'm gonna want to try some of their other cigars. I'm gonna be like, oh, those guys make good product. Let me try that blend. I'm gonna find the blend if possible. Like I did that with, or I'm going to do that with the Stillwell Stars. Like I have another one of the Stillwell Stars that has pipe tobacco in it, and it's another of the numbers. I believe it's the number 23, and you look out for a smoke review on that one coming next week or next weeks or so. But yeah, the Stillwell, has like 4 different blends, right? So the first blend I tried was fantastic. I'm gonna trust my guy. He said it's not worth sitting on, so it's hard to buy a box of that stuff, of the Stillwell, Again, love that jungle. That jungle comes out in it. Strong barn, strong fermentation, like good fermentation, as in like soft wood, soft cedar, smoke, right? And then boom, it hits you with a little bit of that jungle, that green jungle quality. Ooh, that can keep spinning. Aloha, cheers. Yeah, but that's the great thing. Also, the great thing about both beers and cigars, especially cigars right now, there's so many cigars out there. These guys are doing it right. Whatever they're on to creating a new blend, trying to have take seeds. What is that called? Not horticulture. I guess it's a horticulture. Yeah, like that horticultural spirit where you're blending seeds, you're changing and augmenting, and they do it in the weed business. Cigars, it's good that they probably have caught on, like, hey, we don't have to just keep it as a Cabernet seed, right? And if you notice, even your wines, a lot of them are blended. It has some Cabernet, it'll have some Shiraz in it, it'll have some Zin, right? Like it'll have certain percentages of what the grapes are. And you could do the same with cigars, and you could do it, I think, even more poignantly, right? Like augmenting or changing the seeds or combining the seeds somehow. Can you do that? I don't care if I'm expressing like what I don't know about cigars, because that's the whole part of the journey too, is like learning more. And even though I used to be a cigar professional, it's not like I don't mind like not knowing things, right? Like I'm not an expert. I'm a connoisseur, previous salesman, but I'm not an expert, not a grower. I'm not out there farming the shit, fucking moving and switching out the pelons and shit. I understand the process. I understand the medio, the liga, the various leaf areas. I'm gonna know some things, but I'm not a genius about this shit. But somebody else is. And what I like about this cigar is that it seems like it's an effort to, I could tell the craftsmanship that went into the cigar. That it's an attempt to blend something different, to try to create a new flavor, like a new cigar smoking experience through the flavors. And I appreciate that a lot. I could tell it, and that's why I didn't get the best or give this cigar like a super, super high rating, but I'm going to give the brand, like this company, more opportunities now. Now I'm going and invest and be like, oh no, or if someone talks about them or has a doubt, like if I'm in the cigar shop and they look at the Aganrosa, I'm like, yeah, they make good cigars, man. Give it a try. They make good cigars, and I think that's a win too for them, And it's a win for me because I get out of my box and my circle, and which is interesting because you know what cigar I smoked more in my life than any cigar, and I'm surprised I don't have if I had a tattoo of any cigar, it would be Partagas. Like, you know how guys have like Cadillac fucking tattoos and they're loyal to Cadillac and they love Cadillac? I was like that with Partagas cigars. Like, I would only smoke Partagas. I'd smoke Partagas Reservas. I'd smoke the Maduros. I'd smoke the regular ones. Partagas. Partagas Cifuentes, which I still have a couple. Of course, the 150s. Like, it had to be Partagas. I was the Partagas guy. That was what I smoked. That was what my preference was. It was my go-to brand. Like, it was just a no-fail. I'm going to go with Partagas. And now it's nice to open that window, open that door into other brands, and there are a lot of other brands. And I can't tell you the last time I smoked a Partagas. Oh no, I smoked one of the three, the Habano ones. One of the what are they called? The three cigars that are bound together. I'll have to bring it out to you guys. I'll show you another one. But I smoked one of them, right? And that was excellent smoke. And it was weird because that one was wrapped, and it was part of the some of the cigars, a collection of cigars that my friend gave me that was moldy. And that one was wrapped in aluminum foil. It comes in these aluminum foil wraps, and it wasn't moldy. None of the mold penetrated the fucking aluminum foil wrapper that it had on. And that's another thing that I'm going to do a piece on here. There's still a glass, like it got through all the tubos. The mold got through the tubos. I smelled them yesterday. I smelled the cigars yesterday to see if any of the mold dissipated at all. And it's been a few months now. And it's dissipated slightly, but they're still moldy. And I have to question, like, once you get the mold, I think that's it. I don't think you could save the cigars. Once they got mold on them, they're over. Once they were part of even the mold smell, even though they didn't get mold themselves, somehow or another, the mold is still existent, and it's done. And I'm not gonna smoke any of that shit. I'm not gonna fucking smoke. You're gonna get sick. I'm not gonna fucking smoke that shit. And it's a shame because there's a bunch of the cigars in there that are part of the moldy thing. In fact, I should take some of the better ones out maybe and start transferring them into more individualized areas. My intent right now was to basically almost dry them out. Like getting them to a non-humidified state where they're separated from my cigars and they're gonna like get no humidity and they almost dry out. And then I'm gonna open them up to the air. I'm gonna open air dry them. I'm almost thinking I don't know if I should sun dry them or like they do in a barn, like put them, in a dark, I don't know, heated area, like heated box. I don't know. I'm gonna devise something. I'm gonna figure something out. And if that doesn't work, then I have to just toss them. I tossed so many of the cigars too. I was like, I'm not even bringing this shit in the house. I don't want this mold growing even anywhere in the house, not even for the cigars. I just don't want mold in my house. I'm like, nah. So I ended up throwing away a lot of the like heavier molded cigars, and some of them were extremely valuable, like Partagas 150 cigars, Cuban Romeo and Julietas, fucking Churchills in tubos. They were just done. Thousands of dollars worth of cigars just thrown out. I didn't even keep the tubos. I should have kept the tubos and just cleaned the tubos to use as travel items, but I didn't. I was like, fuck, I don't want anything to do with this mold here. Didn't want any mold in my house. Yeah, so we're going to learn if the mold, in fact, I'll bring it out. I'll bring it out here in a second if I could find it quickly because I have to go get another beer and clean this glass. Yeah, in fact, let's just do that right now so I can show you guys. Welcome, bow betters. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Aloha. Yeah, if you guys haven't had any of these Aganrosa cigars, please go and give them a try. There goes my dirty dishes. Oh yeah, I have to clean this shit. Stinky. All right, there's the beer. All right, there's the beer. There you go, shake the weasel. Be quiet. Don't lose the. You know, I dropped the microphone into the toilet once. So that's how I lost the magnet. And the microphone survived. It survived. I did the same thing you would do with an iPhone. You throw it in like a jar of rice. All right, let's look at the box here. Dun, 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 dun. Oh yeah, look at it. Okay. Are you in this bar? Let me see. Yeah, cool. I'll bring the box out for you guys. I'll bring this box out to you guys. And is the glass one in there? Yes, the glass one is in there. And I put it in. Wait, forgot the beer in the glass. There's nobody in the chat anyways. I think even my buddy Aloha left, which is okay. I'm happy for anybody that comes in. I appreciate anybody that watches this content. Please comment, like, subscribe. I appreciate you guys listening to this, however you listen to, whether in the car, you're in the shower. Unfortunately, I don't have an MMA audience right now, so we're not going to talk MMA, which is a shame. And I'm not working tomorrow, so all right, so bam. Oh wait, here he is. No, he's gone. So yeah, the can. Old Irving. With that can there. Old Boulevard box. These are made in Honduras. I had to throw some of these Boulevars out. And it doesn't say the age on them, so whoa. It's so when you put that down, could lose the everything. So yeah. So here we are. Right? Those are the cigars. These are these. I forgot what these are called. The guy made them of weed too. So I smoked one of these. Oh, they do smell moldy. They do smell moldy. Yeah. They have a little mold to them, but it's less than other ones. And they come in this aluminum foil. Partagas, si fuente, see that? Habano. The colubre, I think they're called, colubres. And this one here, is it Habano? Is it Cuban? This Magnum Monte Cristo is in glass, right? So I wonder, it looks good. I wonder first, besides it, if it shouldn't have any mold in it. I don't know if it's Cuban or Dominican, but this is the cigar that I'm gonna smoke to see if glass. But yeah, it did permeate this, the mold did get into these, but not as bad as other cigars. Not as bad as the tubos and the non-tubos. So you'd unpeel these and yeah, there's some mold in them there, but I've been sitting them and I put them in a lot of the cigars in these separate like boxes and the plastic bag there to dry them out. But I'm curious if the mold has hit this cigar here. This cigar, guys, has got to be, I'm going to say it's over 20 years old. Like right here, this cigar is over 20 years old right now. This is from the 90s. I bet it's Dominican. I'm gonna do some research on it when they produce glass. Let's see if we could find it. Glass cedar wrap. Let's see if we could find. I could find some information on that right now. Let's see here. Let me see if I could find something on it, guys. Wait. Well, and I'm doing a search on glass tube, cedar wrapped. Yeah, it's 2000. It more than likely is from the year 2000, so it's, yeah, here they go. JR has some. Yeah, JR has some. Yeah. The Havana 2000 cigar is made in the Dominican Republic, so it's Dominican. The Havana 2000, it had to be from 2000. And they have the sampler pack right now. It's cheap. Retail, the sampler pack is only $104. That's crazy. It cannot be this cigar though. There's no way it could be that inexpensive. There's no way. That's like, there's just no way. That's actually like, even for the Monte Cristo, unless this, yeah, I don't know about this Havana 2000. I don't think it is that. I don't know if it's from that collection. It's possible. How old is this page? That's from JR Cigar. That's interesting. They still do sell these. Very interesting. Yeah, I'm curious. This cannot be from that era. Yeah, I don't think it's from what's being put out there right now, because I know this is an aged cigar because it comes from that collection, but there's no way to tell like where this thing is from. But the mold should not penetrate it. It's like I got a cork right there. We're going to find out at some point. We're going to find out. We're going to do a piece on that. Whoa. Had the box incorrectly. Nice box though, this Boulevard box. Like, you know, it's cedar. But it's lost a lot of its cedar characteristics. It's so old. It doesn't have the smell of it any longer. But yeah. So that's what we're gonna do a review of that at some point. I rinsed out the glass a little better. But yeah, we're gonna do a review of that. We're gonna have another beer here, and we're gonna cut the stream short as nobody's watching. And my cigar is out, and the cigar is almost done. And now you see that Citra a little better. It had a little head. There was a little head to it. Old Irving Brewing. It had a little head to it, so it wasn't maybe the... Oh, that's a highly drinkable IPA. Highly drinkable. That's like a street fair IPA right there. You bring that to the street fair, You're gonna get fucked up. You're gonna drink a lot of that. Bring that to the street fairs. Right there. Where's my... Oh, there it is. Yeah, man. Like I said, I have a whole cooler full of like 100 cigars that I was hoping to save. What I did is I wiped them down with some distilled water, took some distilled water, and I in a brush, a brand new brush, like paintbrush, and then I brushed them and hit them with the distilled water on another brush, like some nice clean brushes to try to just get the mold off. But I don't think that worked at all. I think it's a lost cause there on those cigars. With that glass 201, I don't know. I have to learn a little bit more of the Monte Cristo 2000. It could be from the year 2000 because that's what I'd imagine it would be. But I can't imagine that they're that price for that old of cigar. I don't know if they're part of that same collection. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it was a cigar he got as a gift that was newer, right? More recent. I doubt it. Nothing in the box is new. Nothing in the coolers that he gave me were new. And it was some work just sorting through them, and it's a shame that he let his collection get to that point, but what are you going to do? You know, it's a shame. Like, you just can't, just like with this cigar here, you just can't expect your cigars, you sit on them and expect them to, you have to check on them. Like, I check my humidity in my Frigidor. I look at the cigars. Like right now, one section's a little low. So I, put some more humidification units in there. Like get it on up. And I know I'm doing okay in my storage because the cigars are getting a little light plume. And it's not mold, it's plume. Like very light. And that's telling me that I'm getting humidification in there. And also that I got to start smoking the cigars, right? Like, get through them, start smoking them. And it's tough, Sometimes I just wipe the plume off and let it be. Let the cigar sit there. But I have enough cigars now that if something happened through COVID, well, I got enough cigars to smoke for a year or two. You know what I mean? Or longer if I just kept them to a special occasion, didn't smoke them every day. But it just, they last a little longer. Collection's at a couple hundred cigars now. We're at like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, like 15 boxes. So yeah, 15 times 20. We're up there. Could have more. I'm not trying to brag and shit. I know people that got hundreds of boxes. I don't know why you need that many, but hey, if you have special occasions and you're like dudes like that, if you have that many cigars, and I had that many cigars at one point, and I was in the business, I was also very generous with I gave away a lot of cigars. I'd be like handing cigars out to people every day. In fact, I'd bring like 5 cigars out with me, and 2 would be for me and 3 would be to give away. Right? I'd give away at least 3 cigars or even more a day. Sometimes I bring a little box with me. Like I had a portable humidor that like would carry 10 cigars, and I'd give most of those cigars to clients or potential clients. Like, oh, you like cigars here? Let me give you this, And I wish I had that portable humidor because it was bigger and it was better quality and it was Dunhill. And I left it someplace. I was drunk and I fucking left that fucker at some bar. And I went back to the bar. That shit was gone. I don't even know what people knew what they had with them. Probably sold someplace on Craigslist. The spice is back, people. The little spice is back. We're at that half, final third mark, and the spiciness is back. Killer on Craigslist. Forgot the name of that band. They made a song about a killer on Craigslist. Next thing you know, it actually happened, and they ended Craigslist. Actually, I think Craigslist ended because of the prostitution. They had a whole massage and prostitution, and the killer. Because I think the killer was soliciting women both on the dating as well as the sex trade part of the site, and was killing people. And then I'm surprised there isn't a movie about that. Maybe I should write the movie. Just write it. See if no one's gonna like produce it and make it. I'll do a search later on for the Craigslist killer. Yeah, so those cigars are in their own boxes, cedar boxes, drying out. And the drying process, I don't think is helping the mold. The mold is just still there. I could smell it even on these. Initially, I didn't smell it. I thought those were safe, so I was wrong. I thought that they were safe, and now, like out here in the open air, if I could smell it out in the open air like here, they have that still slight hint of mold, but there's no mold on the cigar. It's permeated the cigar, but it isn't quite the same. That aluminum still saved them a little bit, which is crazy because some of these tubos, you could actually see the mold. Like at the tip of the cigar, you'll see like it's not plume, but it's a mold to them. Am I still live? Yeah, I am live. Yeah, and I think once you get the mold in cigars, that's it, man. That's it. Like he stored them in an area that had too much humidity. You put them in like the wine area of your basement or this area, it's gonna where moisture can get in there. It's gonna destroy them. It's gonna destroy them. Killer on Craigslist. Yeah, the hoppiness doesn't do this cigar justice. I don't like today's pairing, guys. Again, not to say that Sentinel is a bad beer. It's just not pairing well with this cigar. Hey, Tom, what's going on? Sipping smoke, baby. That's what I do. It's my only day. I have to work tomorrow, Tom. I don't know if you are off and you're able to go with Jose and Grandma and go out tomorrow in Chicago. I don't know, but they called me in for some mandatory overtime. You know, it's good money, and I wanted to contest it. I tried to talk to the union guy, but he didn't call me back, which I don't like. But yeah, they got me coming in on my day off. I get overtime for it, but still, it's like, man, thank you for hitting up the hearts. Thank you, thank you, thank you. But yeah, so I got to work tomorrow, and my work's hard, Tom. Like my knees are hurting, my hands are hurting. Like I got the I went from the country club job at the airport to like the worst job, the hardest job. And it's funny, like one guy finally is realizing that. I told these guys before, like they should get out of there. They're such hard workers. They're such good guys. I'm like, man, this place is abusing you. Like they just run through us. You know, they're making us work. Oh, you'll see them this weekend. Good, yeah. That should be fun. That should be cool. Hopefully you're working on some good stuff, man. And I'm telling you, Thomas, man, look into that fucking airline craft mechanic, man. I see these guys making that good money. And all they do, they just walk around with their pads, their tablets, and they just looking at the brakes. They're inspecting the plane. You know, that's all they do is make sure the plane is in working condition. And they walk around with their tablets, look around, look at the plane. They don't even run any tests or anything. They just, basically the tablet is like a checklist. They're going through a checklist that they checked like certain areas of the plane to make sure everything was good. And they're making good money. Like, and it's easy. Like, they have a super easy job as the mechanics there. Like, and it's funny that the guys that come and fix shit, they all just bring the same screwdriver I got, and they oh my God, I can't believe what they do to the planes. It's like, and now I don't even call them anymore. If I need something, I'm like, oh fuck, I can't close this button. Let me try to figure it out myself. I don't even try to call my people because they're gonna want me to stay there, and it's gonna take a lot of time. And unfortunately, where I'm working at, if I'm not doing flights, that means I'm gonna get the last flights. I'm gonna get more work at the end of my shift, and I want to be out of there as quickly as possible. I want to be done as quickly as possible. So I don't want to slow down at all. And that's unfortunately the way that this job got me. It's like they just work their people, and you work, boom, you're boom, boom. 5 minutes in and out, boom, boom, boom. We're pumping that shit out. We're pumping that work out. So yeah, I used to do the Epsom salt. I used to do that. I don't have a bath here though. A lot of it's the drinking, you know, my circulation, and then I might need like certain shots in my knees. I might need some kind of medication. So I forgot to tackle that with the people. Enrollment starts in a couple days into my medical, my 401k and all that other shit. So I got to get that situated, and then I'm going to go to a doctor, and I'm going to go look into what injections might be for arthritis, and you know, that's what I'm going to go for. I'm going to like just go to a doctor and see what medications I might be able to get, and look for, you know, like I'm using right now, instead of fucking looking for a new job, I'm fucking drinking and fucking smoking. Let's be real. I got my haircut, went to my job to help me with one issue, because I had no means of getting my pay stubs because they didn't give us the proper email on this application. And so I got printed copies of what my paychecks were, as well as assistance with the software. I'm glad they did that. And then I went and got a haircut, went and saw grandma, went to lunch with grandma. The mosquitoes are fine, they're gone. The mosquitoes, I saw a bee earlier, but the mosquitoes are gone. It's too cold for the mosquitoes. The cigar's good, it just isn't pairing well with the beer I got. I'm gonna break this band off. I love the finish. It's a good balance. And like I said, I'm gonna invest. I'm gonna try some of the other cigars in this company, from this company, because I could tell they make good cigars. Like, the burn is fantastic, the draw is fantastic. This blend just isn't completely doing it for me, but it's somebody's blend for sure. Like, it just lacks, like I was saying earlier, it lacks like a little cappuccino or a little tiramisu. And it's not a beer, it's more of it's more of a spirit cigar, so it needs like a bourbon. Like, maybe scotch, I'm not a scotch guy, but a bourbon, like a Kentucky whiskey bourbon, or because it has that little smoky characteristic, which is with this as well, because it has that barn smoky quality, or a port wine. I think a cappuccino. Like, I could actually have this cigar in the morning. Get my day rolling. My top 5 beginner cigar recommendations. Okay, number 1, the Macanudo Cafe. That is my number 1 Connecticut shade cigar. Highly smokable, really, really, really like good. well-flavored, well-balanced, mild, unoffensive. That's number one. I'm going to give you all almost Connecticut's. The Espinosa, Connecticut, right? Like Espinosa, Connecticut, I forgot what they call it, but it's their Connecticut from Espinosa Cigars. That's another one. The Druist, getting away from Connecticut's, I would then go into a Liga Privada, even though it's a higher end. If you wanted a third, you wanted to try something that might be on the beefier side, I would try the Drew Estates Liga Privada. Like, not their higher end ones, just go for the basic Drew Estate cigars. And there's a lot of cigars from Drew Estates that you could choose from, right? There's their whole line, you can't go wrong. In fact, they make a Connecticut that's actually made here in Connecticut and Florida, right? So it's a domestic made cigar. I think it's called the 1912. I've done a review on it. So that's number 3. You know, I don't want you to break the bank, you know, because I would put Ashton as a number 4, but it's expensive, right? Like the Ashton, Connecticut, for the price, I think you could still do, you know, the 2 other Connecticut shade cigars are better for the price point, right? If you're just starting out. But once you understand what a cigar is, I would go like, yes, number 1, try the Macanudo Cafe, Connecticut. Number 2, try the, what was my number 2? It was another Connecticut shade cigar. What was the other Connecticut? I already fucking forgot. I don't even smoke weed anymore, I forgot. So go for my number 2. What was my number 2? Oh, was it the Espinosa? No, Espinosa was number 4. So yeah, was it the Espinosa? Yeah, number 2 was the Espinosa. Yeah, and then number 3 was Liga Privada. Number 4 would be Ashton, because once you've experienced the Macanudo Connecticut's, you could go then into a higher end Connecticut, or instead of the Liga Privada, you could try the Drew Estate Sun-Grown Connecticut, the 1912 Connecticut. Actually, let me replace that rather than Liga Privada. That Connecticut shade cigar. So that's number 3. Number 4 would be the Ashton, because you're like getting into a higher end Connecticut. And then once you've really, like, I want you to almost try something different, but I still want you to understand like Connecticut's first. Then I would maybe go into one of the higher end Connecticut's, like the Pomodoro that I'm going to smoke soon here. Or you start getting into like the Liga Privada line, or AJ Fernandez. They could turn you on to the Habanos, or more deeper, richer cigar. But I would stick with Connecticut's. Like all 5 would have to be like a Connecticut shade cigar until you learn the subtleties and enjoy those cigars. Then you're like, hey, I want to try something different, right? It's just an easy call for me because they all have to be Connecticut's. The Liga Privada. Liga Privadas are from Drew Estates. They make really good stuff. Everything from Drew Estates, as well as Alec and Bradley. Oh, I'm sorry. That's what I was thinking. Alec and Bradley. Like, that would be number 5 or number 6. After you've had, like, no, the Liga Privada is number 5 or number 6 and 7. Go into the Liga Privada because, like, okay, then you're smoking like Ashton, then the Liga Privada, because you're switching blends. But Ashton is like the pinnacle of those Connecticut shade cigars, or even like, because I don't want you spending like $30 on a Davidoff or some of these other Connecticut shade cigars that are very pricey, very expensive, right? But you learn about the soft qualities of the milder cigars, and then you move into the next shade, right? Then you move into a deeper, richer blend, and then you get into some of the blends that I prefer myself, you know, that I don't think a novice can appreciate them. But yeah, number 1, easy. Macanudo Cafe. Inexpensive, great quality, mild, soft, great hints of cashew, nuts. Simple. Like, it's a no-brainer. Number 2, the Espinosa, Connecticut. Same thing. A little higher in price, excellent quality, a little more complexity, like a little toastier, not quite as soft and smooth, but still there. And then number 3, the Drew Estates Connecticut Shade Cigar. That gets you like, man, if you know, like you get to know Connecticut's really well, it turns you on to that real American quality tobacco. Fantastic cigar. That cigar is phenomenal. And then number 5, number 5 would be the Ashton, like a little higher end. So you understand the milkiness. You get the hints, again, of a little toffee with that milkiness, of the little milk chocolate, almost white chocolate. Ashton makes fantastic cigars. High price point though, very expensive. And even from after that, you could go on to, like I said, maybe rather than go to switch the blends, you still go get a higher end Connecticut, or higher end, or light, something like a Davidoff, right, on the higher scale, like a Davidoff after that. But yeah, those are my top 5. And then you move into the Liga Privadas. You could move into, that's a good introductory high-end cigar, like, because it's so smooth. It doesn't have a ton of spice to it. It's got a different richness to it, different textures, different aromatics, much more complex. And then it's really not just flavor, it's a learning process, right? Like, you're learning flavor sets. And once you know the flavor set, say, for example, of the Connecticut's, then you start like, okay, I'm gonna go with this Habano set before I go into this other area of cigars. You go into the next set, and then the next set, and then the next set. It's like with wine or with liquor or with, with spirits or with anything, you have to move in a scale. And so we start off with the lightest scale is what we're starting you off with, and then we're going to move into the next scale. So after you do those 5, you go into the next 5. And the next 5 are going to be like a Habano blends, right? And then from there I'm going to go into more what I would say New World exotic blends, which are broadleaf Sumatrans, Indonesian Sumatran wrappers that are heavier, have a lot more complexity. And then I'm going to take you to the Maduros after that. And we're going to try a few different Maduros after that. And Maduros actually aren't bad for beginners either, because they're maybe not going to pick up, but where I would say they're like not good for beginners, because they're not going to really pick up on the flavors, and they're just going to be smoking it, and they're not going to pick up on the flavors immediately. So you have to have a palate already to understand like and that's just my opinion. I could, it's just my opinion. Like, I'm not going to give a beginner a Maduro, but once you understand like begin to develop a taste and a palate for or a baseline for the smokes that you have, then I'm going to take you to something like a Maduro, and let's taste this Maduro. And we're going to, there are various Maduros there. And then once you're on that line, then we're going to upscale, and we're going to go into more some of the premium ones after that point. After you've ran through like some of the basics of just getting a baseline of the various leaves that are out there, then we're going to go into the more premium leaves, the more premium tobacco, the more premium cigars, and it opens up more to you. And you could always go back. And that's why the Macanudo Cafe is my number 1, because I've smoked so much that when I have that Macanudo Cafe, it just tastes so good because it's so light, it's so enjoyable. Yeah, thank you, Tom. But it's so light, it's so enjoyable that I still enjoy it. Like occasionally, you can't always have these exotic blends. Like this is a very exotic blend that I have right now. This cigar, this Aganrosa, it has more of an exotic blend, and to pick up on the hints and the notes on it, it takes a more of experienced cigar smoker to really enjoy it and appreciate its construction, because this cigar really is about the blend and the construction. It isn't my taste in a big tenfold, but it is. I understand now that this brand is making quality. As I mentioned earlier, it introduced me to the brand. Now I know that they make interesting cigars. This isn't the blend that I like. I gave it an 8.7. But it isn't up there. It isn't in the 9 club. So it's gonna get there. We're gonna get there. But yeah. And we'll have a cigar, Thomas. One day I don't know when we'll have the same days off. When we're on a trip or something, we'll be able to have a cigar and have a cigar with Alex. Alex likes cigars. We'll have a cigar. Uncle Jay likes cigars. He likes cigars. Right? I'll bring us some cigars, and since you're a novice, we'll all smoke the same cigar. And that's the other good thing about doing it. And that's the way I learned cigars is like back in the day, I started with Macanudos. We used to smoke weed too, but we would buy a box of Macanudos and everybody would smoke the same cigar. And we'd go around in a circle jerking. No, but we'd all be there smoking the same cigar and we'd all have a turn giving our opinion of what they thought the cigar was or how it tasted, right? And we all gave a little minute, like, hey, what do you think of the cigar? What do you think of the cigar? And everybody would give their opinion of it, right? And nobody would there's no wrong answer. Everybody would be like, oh, I don't get that. I didn't taste that, but that's part of like what what cigars are like. Everyone's going to taste the cigar. Everyone's taste is a little different, and how everybody responds to a cigar is a little different. So you get in a group, you all have the same cigar, and we say, hey, what do you think of it? And it's not right out the gate. You give it time. I could mention what it is for my start, and what I would say, and then someone could give their start, and then the cigar is going to change over time. Like this cigar has changed. That's my favorite tool. You hear my favorite tool, Thomas? What is that? That's a Sawzall. I love a fucking Sawzall. Sawzall and a fucking circular saw. If you want to fucking cut something or fucking destroy something, you could tear a house down with a Sawzall. You fucking literally, or you could Sawzall. You could fucking take locks off, cut steel. You get a Sawzall, you fucking do whatever you fucking want with that shit. Cut a car in half. Cut the hood off of a car with the Sawzall. You can augment a bike. You can fucking cut a bike frame with it. You can cut concrete with it, I think. I think you can. Sawzall, you don't fuck with the Sawzall. Sawzall's a destroyer. The Sawzall will fucking fuck shit up. Love the Sawzall. And that means he's got a problem. When you hear the Sawzall, that means something wasn't coming off easy, something wasn't working right, you had to bring the Sawzall out. We're almost at the end here. Let me go get another beer. They're stealing the cats. They're eating the cats. They're eating the dogs and the pets of the people that live there. They're stealing. Like, I don't know if I've eaten dog. I think I have. I think I ate dog. And it was very intentional. Like, it was not like, and it was in Mexico, and it wasn't like a secret that it was dog. They weren't hiding it. Like, it is dog, and it was Korean style. Like, it was dog. And it tasted good. It was like jerky. Like, they made it into a jerky, but it was hot, and it was like, it tasted really good. But it had so much sauce on it, that you didn't even know that it was dog. I put the bands away here in the jar. Man, look at all that. Look at the jar. Let me bring the jar out. Yeah, this is the jar. Let me bring it out. Oh shit. Let me grab the beer. Let me show the fans how many cigars we've had. Not all of them. This is just some of them. And I've had a presentation where we went and we looked at some of the cigars that we've reviewed and smoked. We're at the point we've got quite a collection of cigars and beers that we smoked. Old Irving Brewing, people, Old Irving. Like, look at this. They're stealing the cats. Like, look at this. Like, oh, there's a San Andreas label. Is that a Paulina? Great label, Paulina. Oh shit, no. Don't lose any of these. One of the New Worlds. Oh shit, no. I hate losing my bands. Where'd that one go? Okay, I'm gonna take this inside, but yeah, those are all the cigar bands in the jar. Where are my bands? Oh, shit. I see it. I gotta go get it. I gotta go get it. I can't lose any of my bands. Oh, no, damn, it's a leaf. Oh, I lost one. Oh, no, there it is. That's what it is. It was that. Yeah, so in the jar, the Boulevard, Boulevard ribbon, right? Keep the ribbons. We had the home movies, right? Recently had the Flor de las Antillas. This was yesterday's cigar. That's why it's at the top. Let me dig down and... Whoa, easy. Oh, look what came up. One of the newer cigars there. It was Alec and Bradley's. Woohoo! This band is old. This band is as old as you, Thomas. Probably older. Same with this one, the Cifuentes band. Vargas Cifuentes. Original Cifuentes from like 1990. Look at this old Dunhill band. Dude, I'm telling you, we got some cigars in here. Punch Habano. A lot of these Cuban cigars, I don't smoke in front of you guys because you can't smoke those, right? Like, you can't find those. So, I should have kept the bands that I smoked in Costa Rica and the Plasencia 146, right? The Olivia Series V. Like, we've done reviews on a lot of these guys. This is a great affordable cigar. Best cigar for the money right there. This one, the La Media Drew Estates, for $5, it's a steal. Let me see what else is down here. Yeah. A lot of the same ones come up because that's what I've been smoking, is stuff that I'm willing to smoke. Oh, what's this one? I don't remember this one. Huh, interesting. Oh, yeah. The best. One of the top cigars, period. Another New World. I love all the AJ Fernandez New World cigars. Love them all. Another Rocky Patel label. What else is in here? Don't fly out. Whoa, easy. This Camacho. Oh, no. I don't want to lose any of them. Oh, yeah, the Plasencia Reserva. right? You guy made a piece on that. Remember that stuff? Yeah, so we got a lot of cigar bands in here, guys. Whoa, here's the wind. I love these New Worlds. In the thing in the New, oh, another. This was the My Father Le Bijou. Yeah, so it's in here, all the cigar bands. I recommend this as a decoration as well as a thing, so you know the cigars, and you can recollect all the cigars. There's a Gloria Cubana down there. Put it in a little vase like this, little jar. I'm gonna put it like in a table or something. Oh, look at, there's a Cohiba band. There's Cohiba in there. Let's get that Cohiba. Another Dunhill band. I smoked a lot of Cubans not in view of you guys. Right? Like real authentic Cohiba Cuban band. Oh, this is another Drew Estates. This is another beginner great cigar. The Nica Rustica from Drew Estates. Fucking awesome. Plasencia Reserva. Right. All right. So let me put this away because shit's gonna be flying away. Yeah. So those are mainly the cigars. A lot of them I have smoked with you guys. But I keep all my cigar bands. Try to keep them. There's a nub. There's that punch. What's this? Oh yeah, the Enclave. They make a nice band. Enclave. So we got cigars. We've been smoking, people. It's sipping, smoking. We've been smoking. Gambling. We are still down. Even this year, even though I slowed my gambling down, I'm still down close to $1,000, like $967. Even though the past few months, I'm up because I was down this year at one point $1,600. So I've made up $600 or $700 of that, but I'm still down for the year, and that's why. And I wasn't making as much money, and that's why I stopped gambling a lot. And I think people need to do that themselves. Like, oh, you'll make it back. Everybody says, oh, you'll make it back. No, you know, like I'm down the past 2 years. I'm down a few $1,000s. So my MMA picks haven't been great. Booty clapping music. Best low-key cigar shops in Chicago. You only need one cigar shop. The one closest to you. But if you're in Chicago, it's Norwood Park Royal Cigars or Up Down Cigars on North and Wells. But Norwood Royal is going to be easier to get to because they have parking. Uptown, they have their parking spot at Uptown. They have a parking spot. But yeah, Uptown Tobacco or Norwood Royal. And it's not low key, they're like the best. You don't want to go to those Rocky Patel place on Harlem, those smoke shops that sell the weed shit. You don't want to go to those places. You don't want to bother with that shit. You don't want to buy them at your liquor store. You don't want to do that shit. Go to Norwood Royal Cigars in Chicago, Uptown Tobacco. There's a couple other in downtown. There are a few others, like 2 or 3 others. Benny's. Go to Benny's. You know, I hate to say it, but Benny's got good cigars. Especially if they have a really well-trained humidor guy. And the problem with that is, like, my best humidor guy at Benny's got promoted to management. So he doesn't have time to, he can't, like, come in there and talk his cigars and do his spiel on cigars because he's busy managing shit now, right? The 2 guys at New Cigars at Benny's, at the Benny's at 6 Corners that I went to, they both became managers. And that's what I would say to you, other than there's the Benny's in Niles that has an old guy who knows his cigars too, and he's not going into management. He is the best Benny cigar salesman at this point, probably in the whole state, because they're just like kids that or people that have gotten a briefing on it, but really don't smoke themselves, so you can't really grab their recommendations or have them assist you. But Norwood Royal Cigars on Northwest Highway here in Jefferson Park / what's the other? We're not in Norwood Park, but yeah, Jefferson Park, and we're Benny's here at Six Corners, or Up Down Tobacco in Old Town, which is on North and Wells, right? North and Up Down Tobacco was my first place where we bought cigars. We weren't even 21. We were using fake IDs. I used a fake ID to buy cigars there, and the lady there, I forget her name, she knew they were fakes. She was fucking hardcore. She was like, all right, so what, like, what do you want, sweetie? And I'm like, oh, we want the Macanudo. How much are you gonna want to spend? $100. And she would be like, okay, and fucking bring out a box of like, nowadays the same Macanudos that we would smoke would be $300. She would always bring out like something a little more premium because she was making money. She's like, okay, I'm gonna sell you some cigars, but I'm gonna sell you what I'm gonna give you. And she was giving us like the more expensive shit. She was giving us like the higher end stuff then, right? So that's funny. That memory, I forgot that memory, but she knew what we were up to. And she was like, well, even though I know she didn't say it, but she's like, even though I know you have a fake ID, if you're going to buy cigars from me, I'm going to give you the good shit. And she did. I think there's a Monte Cristo place on the south side that's pretty good, but yeah, there's no need. Like Norwood Royal Cigars with Don V, and I forget my fucking guy over there. He's the best, man. He's the fucking best. Like, he goes in there, he recommended this cigar, for example. He recommended the other cigars that I continue to have and bring to you guys. And it's not me choosing them. And I admit that. Like, I listen to my guy over there because he already knows what I like. I tell him, oh, I love that. Or I didn't like this other cigar that you recommended, right? And so, yeah, I mean, I wish I had the money to buy all the shit that I enjoy that I brought to you guys. And I just didn't realize that at this point, some of the cigar reviews that we're doing of the cigars, they're really high price points. Like, I wouldn't doubt that this cigar right now that I have in my hand, we've been smoking the Aganrosa, is like an $18 cigar, $15 cigar. Like, I always wanted to have like something accessible to people. Like in the beer realm, this isn't bad. These Old Irving Brewery, these are $11.99 a 4-pack, very affordable. Like, that's affordable. Some of the other beers that I have, $14, $16, not everybody has that. And not everybody has access to that. So like, I've always wanted to have or present beers and even the cigars that everybody has access to, right? That you could purchase and you're not going to break the bank. And I have done pieces on like the best cigars for under $10. I've done that, right? And so you could go back and look in my history if you want to take the time. If you come to the channel, you subscribe and look at those videos. And I'm going to have a selection of that stuff for you. So man, this cigar is so rich. We're at the final third right now. The spice is slightly there. It's a soft spice. And again, the resounding flavors are the jungle mixed with the barn. Yeah, that spice is there. And it's so good. Like, it's so pronounced now. Of course, it's right at the end of the cigar. I don't have a favorite beer. I mean, I drink out of necessity, right? Like at Old Irving, At Old Irving, my recommendation is to do what you did when you went to Iris. You ask what is their seasonal or like the newest beer they have, and or you could ask like what can I get here that I cannot get at Binny's or at a store. Like you get the stuff that you can't purchase anywhere else. So you walk into Old Irving, and it's not your favorite beer. It's more like, hey, and it might be the pumpkin beer. Like, oh, it's a pumpkin beer or a pumpkin cider like you did. Like, oh, you got the new pumpkin? Let me try that. You know, that's what you do. Because you're not going to get it anywhere else. That's what you do. When you go to a place like Old Irving, you ask them, or even Iris, what can I get here that is not, I cannot get at the store? And then choose from what option they give you. I think Hop Butcher has had, as well as Old Irving's, no, not Old Irving, but Hop Butcher and Illuminated. Hop Butcher is on Lincoln Avenue. It took over the old Half Acre Brewing location. Hop Butcher, as well as Illuminated, has made my favorite beers. If you ask me like what my favorite beer makers in Chicago are, it's Illuminated, number 1, Hop Butcher, number 2. And they're very close, like by like I hate that, like tenths of a second. Like if they're like it's like a race, and they're basically at the same point. They just make great stuff. I prefer Illuminated because I know one of the owners, and I know how passionate he is about his beer, his music, his culture. Like he's just a really good, beyond a good person. He wants to have at the end. He wants you to like, you taste that? You like that? I love that shit. When somebody like, you like here, it brings. I remember at one of the skate events, he went out of his way to make certain that they were having a beer tasting with the group, and I wasn't part of the group. He went out of his way to walk up to me to get my opinion of the beer, and that meant so much to me. Like he walked up to me and he's like, Roberto, I want you to try this, man. What do you think? And he listened to me. I'm like, wow, man, thank you so. And he brought me the beer. He literally brought me the beer. There were a bunch of other people. He made certain that I got a tasting of that beer. And it's a testament to his character, a testament to his craftsmanship, and the quality of the beer was it was a fantastic. It had this tangerine, and he doesn't make shit again. Like they're so crazy over there at Illuminated, him and his partners. They have a sort of blends that they keep making, like there's the astronaut juice and the non-astronaut. They make a couple that they are their staples, but for the most part, they're just constantly making different shit. And that's the same with Hop Butcher, constantly making like different blends of beer. And those two beer makers here in Chicago, along with a bunch of other ones, but those two, like Pipeworks, woo. But yeah, Thomas, we'll go to a couple. We can go to these places if you want to try some of them. Like there's so many good beers here in Chicago, it's ridiculous. It's because what people don't realize and why Lagunitas moved back here from California is that we are in an oasis. Like we are in an ecological water oasis. It's called the Great Lakes for a reason. And Great Lakes Brewing, insane beer. Some of my favorite, Great Lakes Brewing Company. Like, we have the water. We have some of the best water in the world. Clean water. And that's why we need to stop fucking Shell and BP fucking Mobil and those fucking gas and chemical companies in Indiana and in South Chicago and in Michigan from fucking dumping their shit in our water. Because our water deserves to be as pure and as more valuable, not to filtrate the garbage that these chemical companies are fucking throwing into our water and killing us slowly. We could sell it to fucking other people. You could sell it to the fucking Chinese who fucking are fucking up their water. Sell it to all these other fucking places that are fucking up their water. We have incredible, incredible water here. We're an oasis. Most Chicagoans and people take that for granted. Take our lake for granted. That's what makes Chicago fucking great. The lakefront. Like, I never understood people that live close to the lake or we're close enough. I'm far away, but when we lived at 4052, like, I would go to the lake all the time. Like, people that live at the lakefront and then actually don't go to the beach, are you crazy? And even up near you, up there in Crystal Lake area, what is that fucking other fucking area over there? You guys got the lake close by you, and creeks and ponds, and fishing is incredible, dude. Wisconsin, Michigan, like, we have all the lakes, Lake Superior, Canada. Like, look at the Great Lakes. Look at the Great Lakes. Like, and then you have feed-offs from those lakes, like Crystal Lake, right? Like, it's feeding off the lake and making small lakes in the interior. That's, like, that's why, like, making beer here or being in the water, or that's why, like, look at Wisconsin. Like, why are so many beers have been made in Milwaukee, Wisconsin for fucking decades? Old Milwaukee, fucking Old Style, fucking Schlitz Company, fucking goddamn Anheuser-Busch in Missouri. Like, they all tap water from the Great Lakes system. We are in a water haven. Everybody else, you know, fucking California is dying for water. Texas is dying for water. All these other states are dying and countries are dying for water. They don't have water. Mexico even is struggling for water, and certain areas have great water. Mexico doesn't use, they've started to use the water for beer, and that culture is growing there, but they use it for agriculture, and we do the same. That's why our agriculture, our corn, like, we grow corn here like nobody's business, and that's why we grow. Michigan grows weed and fucking other fucking soy products, and we grow all this shit. We just got to get smarter about doing it, better methodologies of doing it, right? Like, not just weed, but we have better crops. And we have great crops here, and we export it to the world, guys, and it's because of our water. And it sounds stupid. I remember, like, this one of my teachers, and I did it at a whim because I should have done a better science project, and then I did it on water reclamation. I remember in 8th grade, my science project was water reclamation on preserving water. And she's like, "Oh, Roberto, I think that you were better and smarter to do this." And you know what? I wasn't wrong. Water reclamation and water preservation is the most important thing in our lives. It is the most important scientific effort, other than cancer, that we could endeavor into, right? So these politicians that thinking that climate change and environmental protection is a wrong thing. That's why we need to get fucking Trump out, because he's not an environmental protection person. He just wants to open it all up, dump all the fucking crap into our water, because where are they gonna dump the residuals of their digging and all that other dig? You know where they're gonna dump all that shit? Into our water. They're gonna dump it into our water. Where does all that waste go? Period. Where does even our waste go? We have to start learning how to process our waste, get better at our waste management. And our, that company waste management system, they're a misnomer. They don't manage it. They just fucking make money off that shit. They don't care where that shit's going. And we have to, like, because we are in an oasis here. Like, in the thought that water, I used to think that we will never run out of water here at Lake Michigan, but being a native Chicagoan and surfing and swimming and hanging out the beach here in Lake Michigan, I've seen that beach erode. I've seen the rocks disappear, the sand move out. I've seen it, man. We are losing. It is not an unlimited source of water as I once thought it was. And I almost thought it was. I was like, oh, we have enough water here. Fucking Africa could die, all these other places. No, we're an oasis, and it's getting smaller. Our resource, our best resource, is that water. And our city government doesn't utilize it well, doesn't maximize it, and needs to do better at it. In fact, they're hurting us. Jose works for the waste management people. I mean, City of Chicago water management. We need to fucking reform that shit, upgrade our shit, clean more water, reserve more water, sell the water. That's what we sell. We sell, baby, sell. We don't need to drill. We got liquid gold already here. We have our water. Our water in Chicago is our liquid gold. That's our liquid gold. Who, you know, just like in that water world, who controls fresh water controls life. Period. And we have a fucking ton of it over here that we're poisoning, that we're fucking up, that we're not going to be able to use in our crops properly, that we're not going to be able to use to make beer properly, we're going to be able to use in making power. We just got to get smarter about. Yeah, I don't care if I'm ranting. I really do not care. My Thomas is in here. There's nobody else watching right now. I actually got 5 people watching. 4. Yeah, all right, they don't understand. Comment, like, and subscribe, people. Why do you think Old Irving Brewing's here? Why do you think Illuminated's here? Why do you think we have like the best beer community in the country? Why do you think Milwaukee has always been or like Colorado? Like, we have more water than Colorado. They just have different water. And their shit is not unlimited either. They have the Rockies runoff. Why do you think the Rockies, Coors and Fat Tire and a lot of those Rocky Mountain, because it comes from mountain runoff, but we have a lake. We have a reserve of fresh water that, it's, like I said, it's an oasis. We have one of the best water ecological systems in the world. There's nothing, dude, it's called the Great Lakes for a reason. You don't realize that, oh, it's just the Great, they don't even know it's called the Great Lakes anymore. They don't realize that, like, our lakes, that system right there, maybe Brazil has one. Few countries have that. Indonesia ain't got that. China don't got that. You know, Russia's got a small one, but nope, not really. It's not compared to the Great Lakes. I have to do some research on that, but no way. Super mellow now at the final nub, but mellow in a heartier sense. Like, it has a very Habano, Cuban-like characteristic. Lots of barn, wood, and I just wish that there was more jungle to it. Like, it's just almost too dry, and that's what I mean by, like, barn has more of that smoky peat, not peat, but more of that not mesquite, but it's not rich enough for me. It doesn't have the like, I like the broadleafs, like the Sumatrans, Indonesians, as I was mentioning earlier. It just doesn't have that flavor characteristic on the finish that where the jungle is permeating with a little sweetness, with a little more deep richness to it. I could say what it doesn't have, but what it does have is a nice balance, right? It does have a nice balance between that barn and the jungle. It's a very nice medium. It just isn't there for me. It's just not flavorful enough. And that's why I said it needed a complement. It needed the cappuccino. It needed a dessert. It needs something to complement it, because in itself, this beer doesn't do it justice. This is a very good dessert cigar. This is a very good cigar for somebody that wants that more Habano and Cuban characteristics, like Cuban characteristics. But would it be a repeat buy for me? No. I'm going to give it a no, even though I gave it an 8.7, which is a pretty high rating, because it is what it is. It's actually not that bad. Am I still going okay? It wants that more. Yeah, I'm still there. The burn is fantastic. The quality of the roll is fantastic. The quality of the tobacco, I know, is fantastic. I know that it's just, like, I know what it was not intended to be. It is what it is. But there is nothing wrong with the quality of the cigar. And somebody's going to think this, not think, but this is a cigar, somebody's going to be like, wow, this is a 10. It's like the best cigar I've ever had. It's just not my taste, right? And somebody that likes, I think, that likes that more smoky wood barn characteristic, or that flavor set is going to be like, oh, I'm on this. This is really good. Like maybe a Scotch drinker. I think maybe a Scotch with it is going to be that smoke with that smoke. You know what I mean? Like not I would say bourbon would be better because it's more sweeter, but somebody that doesn't want that sweetness but wants that charcoaly smoke with the smoke is gonna like this cigar. Right? And I know that somebody really is going to rate this cigar high because I could tell, like I mentioned before, that this cigar has an attention to detail. Like somebody spent, whoever made the blend and monitor it, look at how it's burning. Like they spent time and appreciated what this cigar is. And I appreciate what it is. It's not my best taste, but I appreciate the work and effort in all cigars. But I appreciate what went into it. It just maybe it needed something else in the blend itself to be more accentuated. I don't think it's going to age very well. I'm not saying that it's dull. It just doesn't have the potential to be any sweeter. I want this little. I always, like I always mentioned, that's what I like in my cigars. That's why I love my certain Sumatran. I like my, Indonesian. I like my Mexican broadleaf, San Andreas leaf, my Cameroons, is because they have that little slight sweetness to it. And that's what I prefer. And this doesn't have that, but it has that jungle character to it. But that's the whole point of reviewing and trying new cigars, trying new things. It's not like this is a bad cigar. I'm fucking enjoying it, right? It's not like, it's still a very premium cigar, a very excellent blend. It's just not my blend to give it like, whoa, man, it's not blowing my socks off. It's not like, oh, shit, this is fucking awesome. But it's a very good cigar. And as I mentioned, I'm going to buy more of their brand now. I'm going to be like, hey, let me try this. And I see, you know what? I had the other one. It was okay, but let me try this. Let me try it. Let me see this. Does it have this? And I'll ask my tobacconist guy. I'll ask him, hey, I'm looking for this kind of flavor set, this level of richness to it. And he, like I said, he already recommended this because he said, oh, this is a good smoke. And it is a good smoke. My guy is not wrong. Norwood Park Royal Cigars, I'm telling you. My guy's not wrong. And to go back to what Thomas asked earlier, like low key, it's not even low key. Norwood Park Royal Cigar did something I would never do as an owner of a cigar place, but he could write off whatever he wants to. He probably can write it off on the manufacturer. The guy bought a cigar the day before. It was only the day before. And he had his receipt and everything. But he didn't even need to show the receipt. He said, I have the receipt. He's like, oh, no. I fucking loved when I saw that. I'm like, are you serious? You're going to take this guy's cigar? You never know what he did with it. He could have put it in the car for the whole day. He took back a cigar that was like unwrapping at a certain point. Like it had a little fissure. And he's like, oh, you see here? And had a fissure. And he took that cigar. He's like, not a problem. What do you want? You want to store credit, or you want the same cigar? You want a different cigar? What do you want to do? How do you want to, whatever. No questions asked. He didn't even doubt the dude. He didn't even present any force against the guy at all. He's like, what do you want, buddy? Thank you for coming back in. What do you want? He's like, oh, I want to try this cigar. I just want a different one. Okay, no problem. They gave him another cigar. No questions asked. Never seen that before in my life. Like we would have given, like back in the day, we'd have given the guy a little resistance. Like, where'd you take the cigar? Were you at the beach? Like, like what happened to it? You know, it left here fine. I sold it to you fine. What happened to the cigar between now and 24 hours later? Nope. No red cigars. Didn't insult the dude. Didn't question the guy. He right away. No problem, sir. That was Don V's response. What would you like, sir? How can we fix this? What do you want? You want the store credit? You want a cigar? You want your money back? Whatever he wanted. He's like, no, I want the same cigar. And that's, man, I saw that and I'm like, I'm at the right cigar shop. I always thought that anyways, but never seen that before. And I even questioned him and like, are you serious? He's like, if I sold, and I like this response. He's like, he said all his cigar, he calls them, it wasn't just his line because he has a Don V line. He was like, if it's my cigar and comes, he's like, it's my cigar and from my shop, a day or two, if there's a problem, I'll honor it. I have no problems because it's my cigar. That's what he said. It's my cigar. I'm like, my God. I was so impressed with that. Because no other cigar places, you took the liquor store, Benny's, they won't do that shit. Maybe Benny's will do it, give you a credit and whatever, but not the way Don V did it. Don V was like, not a problem, sir. Whatever you want. Sorry you had to come back. He was apologetic. He was like, I'm sorry you had to come back here. I'm sorry that happened. How can we resolve this? Like, perfect salesman, perfect owner, didn't even question the dude. Like, a lot of people would be like, I would have questioned the dude, like, where was this cigar at? Where'd you keep it? Was it in your car, on the dashboard? Like, what happened to it? Did you drop it? I mean, it left here okay, right? When we sold it to you, it was in great condition. I would have pushed back a little bit back in the day, but I love how he got, like, Don V gave him no pushback. And that's what you're gonna get when you go to a good tobacconist and you go to a premium shop. And that's why I don't buy cigars at online anymore. Even though I could get a good deal on certain things, I don't buy cigars as much on Benny's unless they're on clearance. I'll walk in there. If I happen to be there, I'll get it on clearance. I'll get some beer. I'll get, look at the cigars and there's something on clearance. But everything I get from my local shop because they already know me there now. When I walk in, they're like, hey, haven't seen you in a while. Like, that was the other thing that was great about me walking in the other day. They're like, yo, we haven't seen you in a bit. And I'm like, yeah. I was unemployed for a little bit and I had to pay money and I had no money. And I ran through, when I was unemployed and doing these reviews and shit, I was smoking the cigars that I bought previously. I was like, hey, and I told them straight out, I was like, I ran through my daily smokes that I got with you. I need some new daily smokes. And he knows what I does. He knows I do little cigar reviews. I just need some new smokes that I might like that I want to try. And right away, try this. And he tried to steer me to some sales cigars. I'm like, I don't care about the sales cigars. I don't know about these brands. I want, So I did want, that's where I pushed back. But he was happy. He was like, okay, we don't have to go there. Now at the nub. Yeah, I like it. I like it, the nub. It's tasting the best that it's tasted before. Now some rich oils. Yeah, now this cigar. Like, it should have had that throughout. If it could taste like this throughout the whole thing, it'd be a 10. Oh my God, no pepper. Great rich oil. the jungle and the farm blend it's gotten together to be extremely robust. Oh my God. What a good blend. That jungle and that barn on the finish, fabulous. On the bud, the nub here, no pepper, no spice. Old country, New World cigar, old country. Cuban characteristics, man. I give it some Cuban characteristics at the end. I love that jungle finish. The oil is heavier now. Oh, love it. That's why you got to smoke these cigars as much as you can smoke, because it's completely different now than it ever has been. Like, it's a completely different flavor. That jungle richness, full-bodied, little spice that just dissipates immediately. It's not a pepper. Love the upper palate oil. Didn't have that earlier. And it starts to lather your upper palate. And so you take your tongue and you lick the top of your palate and you taste the cigar. And the wood is there, the barn is there. And the spice is there. Again, this cigar needs food. This is a cigar to share with your friends, to share in a meal. It needs to be complemented with something, and it needs to be smoked now. Like, I'm not going to buy a box of this cigar. I'm not going to age it. I don't think it's going to get any better, any smoother. This is a smoke now, smoke with something. Smoke with food, smoke with a libation. Not a bad smoke at all. I'm telling you, my guy over there in Norwood Park Royal Cigars never fails me. Did I finish all my beers? Oh, it's warm and nasty. Well, if you made it this far, you are about better. I appreciate having anybody that listens to this shit. Appreciate everybody that came in the chat. As always, we're going to stick around until we're ready to toss the cigar, and then we're going to close it on off. And I'll tell you what, guys, I just love cigars. I love cigars more than I like the booze. If I could smoke cigars, one cigar every day, had enough time, which I sort of do. I could do it in the morning. I would do it. Let me take a pee. That's nice of having a yard right here. Stick your dick off the rail. Ooh. I don't know how these guys could have. I actually can't have. I can have back-to-back cigars, but at this point, I'd have to go and eat something now again, and then I could have another cigar. You know what I mean? I'd have to, like, Well, I think I got one more beer. Ugh. I think I'd have to, I don't know. I'd have to go and like have something else with flavor to mellow out my palate. Not booze, but some food, and then I could have another cigar. Like, guys have the 2 to 3 cigars a day. I can't do that. I think it would deaden your. Actually, no, I can't say that because I used to do that. I used to have like 3 or 4 cigars a day, if not more. I used to basically smoke all day. But I was selling cigars. It's a little different. When it's your business, you got to promote it and you got to always be smoking. So I'd always like smoke. And that's the sip and smoke, guys. Sip and smoke. We know. Right here, we know. Sip and smoke. Welcome, welcome. Thank you for being with us here this evening, this afternoon. If you're just listening to this at some other time, thank you so much. Again, it was more of a cigar and beer review. I regret that we didn't discuss any MMA, but that's okay. Nobody was in the chat like discussing MMA. We listened to the live yesterday where we have some more of a discussion on some of the MMA and like other things I said and my other rants and craziness. Yeah, the nub. It's nub. All the cigars are nub worthy. I smoke them all to the nub. Strong Habano Cuban characteristics. That barn and jungle. But I would say that I'm telling you guys, like there is absolutely no reason to seek out like Cuban cigars and pay the price for those Cuban cigars that you're paying. And if you're paying a lot lower than market value, because I've seen it, they're all fakes. Right? Like you get your duty-free stuff or you go to like Casa de Habanos in certain spots and pay that money. And maybe you get something really, really good. But it's iffy. Maybe in Europe they get better, but guys, right? Us in the US, when you're traveling, you can be cautious. Go to Casa de Habanos. Don't go to Joe Schmo Cigar Shop. Even though in Costa Rica I went to Joe Schmo Cigar Shop and he had legit shit. Like I verified that shit. I looked at the the holograms and the fucking all his boxes. I'm like, oh, how'd you get this stuff? But his grandma, he was Cuban, Costa Rican guy. So if you're in Jaco, the cigar guy, the young guy that's there, he gets legit shit. So you go to Jaco and want cigars at the cigar shop that's close at the beginning of the road, the main road. His little shop, his cigars are legit. Like his cigars are legit, and they're great quality. Like best quality you could get, maybe in North America. Maybe in Mexico City you get better, maybe like equal, because his grandmother. Comes from the lineage of one of the best. His grandmother was one of the best cigar wrappers in Cuba, and is known. And so when he started, I don't know how he gets them. He can get them to you here. He can get them to you here. I just haven't reached out to him, because I just don't want to pay those prices. Like I don't have any need to pay. Like when I'm there, it was great. All the cigars I bought from him, the H. Upmann Tubo was. We bought some of the Bohicas, and I didn't even want to. He had a box of Cohiba Maduros, and I'm like, no, don't open it. He's like, no, I'll open it for you. I'm like, no. Like I told him like, I know it's legit, and I've not seen one of those in years, like decades, and I'm like. I told them, do not open that for anyone until they want to buy it. Like, almost put a deposit down on it. They're going to buy it. Like, I'm not going to buy the box. So don't. And he wanted to open it. He was like, I'll open the box for you. I'll sell you a couple. No. I told him, do not sell that box to any Lucy's. I told him, I've not seen. And I couldn't believe he was selling the Bohicas. He was selling the Bohicas for $100. And they were real Bohicas. And I saw some fake Bohicas at in Cabo. He had so many Bahicas. I'm like, those are all. I mean, I didn't even tell him, but I could have went. Those are fake. Those are fake. Those are real. He had some H. Upmann tubos that were like $70 a piece, and I could have bought some of those. And I'm like, man, $70. And that's like. I could get it, but I'm here in Mexico. Why am I buying? You know, I got shit $70. I bought this cigar for that is 18, and I got like $70. I got 5 cigars that are far better than probably that H. Upmann cigar from Cuba. Well, you know, we could have the argument of it. We could argue about it, right? The New World cigars. Cuba's. I haven't taken. You know, in Cuba's defense, and legitimately, I've not tasted. I've had some Cuban cigars in the past 2 years, and they were fantastic. I didn't do a sip and smoke on them. And I think I saved the bands on them. I hope I did. I didn't save the tubos. I should have kept the tubos on them. But in Cuba's defense, I have not, because there's so many good New World cigars from Nicaragua, Ecuador, you know, at all, everywhere, especially for Nicaragua. It's with these cigar makers, it's hard, and for Mexico, it's hard to justify paying the price for Cuban smokes when you get comparable quality. Of course, it's different, but you get comparable quality smokes here in the United States. That the whole Cuban thing is a misnomer. It's a misnomer. Look at Arturo Fuente. Arturo Fuente is selling these fucking cigars for fucking. I'm gonna still light this fucker up because the end of this cigar is like Cuban quality. Has the strong Cuban characteristics, including the char. Again, that barn quality, jungle and barn, and attention to detail. Man, the nub of this is fantastic. That jungle, stronger, deep, rich, earthiness, beautiful oil. Permeating my bad nose right now. Incredible aromatics. That's how you got to smoke these things to a nub if they're any good. And this is good. I put it at 8.7, guys. Like this company is a good company. Aganrosa, I'm gonna smoke more of your shit. Now you have a new customer. Like I went to a Mediterranean place, Jaraska over here in Milwaukee. Tried some of their food today, and I'm like, hey, if the food's good, I'm gonna come back. I did order the wrong thing. I should have got the plate. There's certain things they need help. They need help. Maybe I go work there instead of fucking working with the shit I'm working. Maybe I go there. We'll see. I'm going to talk to them. Maybe not a bad idea. It's actually a very good idea. It's just down the street. If you made it this far, you are about better. Look at that. Look at how we smoke the cigars, man. That's how we do it, man. In order for the lume to glow, it has to be sun. Oh, man. Oh, man. Oh, man. But yeah, thank you for coming on into the channel. Thank you for sticking around this long. As always, man, you guys are a fantastic community. Anybody that's part of what I do, please comment, like, and subscribe. I appreciate all you guys. If you've made it this far, you are about better. We're gonna close this stream out. Fucking love doing this for you guys. Love doing it for myself. Love doing it for you guys as well. Always good cigars, always good beer, always good MMA picks. Comment, like, subscribe, participate in what I'm doing. And if you've made it this far, you are about better.